Good morning and welcome to Waking Wellness. We have another episode today going over the pattern. And today specifically it's funny, I was thinking about this as soon as I woke up and I was in the vibe, just dropped my mom off to the airport. And I was thinking I'm going to shine through my creative talents and abilities and really just let the world see and really let it shine. Of course, that's what my new pattern was for today. My other pattern that I went through yesterday, finding your integrity, is going to end today, and now your creativity as an art is the pattern for today. So the first slide is: today you may feel incredibly optimistic on where you're headed and how your visions are unfolding. I've been feeling that. The only thing I could think of is how much I can see all the things I've been envisioning, working on, and how they're actually aligning and they all play in together. So it was amazing to read that. This is a feel-good day. Let your curiosities lead you to experiment with different creative media or generally make yourself more visible to the outside world. So again, and this is what even sparked me to start doing these videos with the pattern, because I love it and I tell all my friends about it, as well as another app, but I'll go into that later. But it's so spot on, and I woke up with this, and this is how you actually check your intuition. You can wake up and go straight to it and try to take something from it so it can put you on the path, or you can wake up, tap into what it is that you're looking for, and then go and check and say, how am I aligned with this? It's like having the answer key, but not looking at it until you've already taken the test. And so that's just a great way to work with your intuition, and from there build confidence in using your intuition. And especially if you are someone that is creative, well, we're all creative, but if you're someone who is more on the artistic side and like to, as well as have a need to channel your artistic side through creative outlets, whether that be painting, drawing, script writing, making music, whatever that is, if you have that tendency and that need to do so, then this is a great way to build and infuse, because we're fueling our intuition, which is the best guide that we have to help us with something of that nature. The second slide is intention. There's an influence encouraging you and others around you to be more social than usual. I also had that feeling and that inkling within my body when I wanted to share it. Like, of course, I'm not the one that I need all the likes and all that. I want the right people to see it, and not to like it, to actually to love it in a way that they know they need to integrate it and to actually make that connection. My aunt, she has Tony Talks. She has a podcast. She's just started on IG Live and interviewing successful business women and men. And she said, I heard her one day, my mom was listening to her, she said the part that she loves the most is the connection. And it's the same way for me. We are very similar in some ways, and she does counseling, and so she has that whole psychological, she has it down, she's in tune with that. And so her saying that, it was funny because I've been thinking that the past couple of days, that I've met some people and we've connected on talking about source, God, whatever you like to call, and the need to connect to that so that we can connect with others. And it's so powerful. So she inspired me to think about that and bring that up. The intention is to spark new insights and boost your faith in your unique talents. That intention to spark new insights I love, because that's after the being more social than usual. So for me, that's me making sure that I show up as best as possible. I let go of all the jitters. I get in tune with the best me so I can give that to you. So then it makes you feel like, oh yeah, like I may have been wanting to make videos. I may have wanted to have a podcast for years, or I may have been wanting to heal for years, for days, whatever that length of period of time is that's stopping you from doing it now. That's what that inspiration, that's what that spark is, because inside you feel something unlock, and then you go and do it. It was the same way when I meditated and came out. It's like, oh my gosh, I knew I was a healer, but it was like I was past the current from one of the Ascended Masters that let me know. Now is the time. You have the knowledge of what you've always had, but now you have unlocked it. And I could instantly feel the current running through me. Like, this was already after seeing auras and being very in tune and being in tune with higher guides, other archangel seraphims, and tapping into things like that. But it was different. I could feel the difference, and that my ability was bestowed to me again. It was beautiful. And that's the power of remembering. Repression doesn't just happen in this life. It's definitely a past life. It's definitely a past life, let's say, phenomenon, if we have to call it that. Or defense mechanism, I'll say. That's a great one. And then that boosting your faith in your unique talents. I just went through that a little bit, but it's so powerful because doing this right now has changed my whole outlook on myself, on how I relate to people and how I can relate to people and how I can actually use my gifts of talking, of writing, whether that be journals, creating scripts, or whatever it is. It's amazing because we start to see ourselves in a new light, giving us a rebirth and a renewal, a new way to connect. And it's beautiful. And all these things, at some point, we realize they interconnect. And when we start working like that, it's something else. And so you may feel encouraged to take new risks, which might help you move closer to your dreams. And that's exactly what this has been feeling like for me. That's exactly what this has been. I cannot tell you the amount of people I have met that I talk to. If I meet, let's just say 20 people within a day, out of that 25 of those people, I've been having very deep, intimate conversations on the self, on connecting, on God, on how this all actually relates and our part in doing this together, really talking about the plan that consciousness has for us to evolve and for evolution. And it's beautiful. And this is part of that. The third slide, and then it's one more after this. Key takeaways. This is a great opportunity to access the power of play. I love, and again, intuition lets you know when you are aware, and the higher your level of awareness, you can translate this more simply. And so it's beautiful because this may seem something very complex, which is not, but the emotion and the power of the spirit, that flow of energy is so strong. It can be difficult to articulate it because if we cannot, it's like when you astral project. Once you get way too excited, you start to do things like when you're working out, you breathe too quick, you start to get like this, and it's because the body is not properly integrating the energy. So when we breathe and we bring ourselves to a centered place, from the Manipura or the solar plexus, then we can start to take control and we move from here. We can start to, we're not just moving from the mind and every thought that comes, we have to take action. No, we are centered and the flow of energy can now move. And that's even important when I just mentioned about the repression and being a past life type of occurrence or phenomena. It extends through there because we repress things from the moment of our real birth or our first, let's say, incarnation are coming from source. And so that's why things like abilities like healing or clairvoyant abilities or whatever unique gifts we have do not rise to the surface until we excavate them by going down. We have to bring our consciousness down into home to unleash and tap in. It's like jumping in the pool and then you go, oh my gosh, I'm a part of all this. And any part of this that I desire to be a part of or utilize or emphasize, I can do so because I am part of, and that's why I am is so important. Any part that you say I am, once you're aware, if you're aware enough to say I am, then we start to shift through vibration on all kind of levels, on the molecular level. I am powerful. I am a content creator. I am a healer. I am an amazing person. Whatever that is, or I am beautiful, whatever that is, it resonates out and it starts to, it's always going to be a call and response. as the universe always responds and is taking in what we are giving as we are the universe. It's really it's sort of like that paradox that once you understand that some things can be understood, everything unlocks itself and now you have access. So it's just beautiful. I got so far into intuition. Yesterday I drove past, maybe it was like Maywood, and it was a park that said to play, or it was on a sign, and it said to play is, it was somewhat like of a, like, is an integral part of community or between people and souls. It's a way to actually stay bonded. And it was so beautiful. And I felt that it was like my soul jumped out the car, ran to the sign, hugged it, and then came back because I felt it so deeply. And it made me think about what I said, play, like play. They're emphasizing play, and that's so young and childish, but not with a negative connotation. It's a necessary childish aspect, and that's how we do get tapped into our inner child and remember those things we like to do. I had to remember I love drawing, so I got back into drawing. I started drawing for my anime that I'm creating. Like, I love writing. I used to create comic books and stories, flip books, and all these things. So when I started doing it again, it seemed foreign, like, oh my God, this is an amazing script and I can't believe I'm doing this and these characters are amazing. Yeah, that's in the DNA, and I'm just waking it up. That's what waking, like coming to awareness is, or coming to God or that Jesus moment is. Everything becomes apparent that the all is always accessible to us. That's what the Akashic Records is. You tap in so that you can just remember, I have always been, I always will be, I am eternal. And that is to recognize our divinity. And so it's just beautiful because to read this a day after that, it's amazing, and it goes further into it. And so let me just keep going because I'm about to short circuit the camera with all this energy. If you haven't made time, this is a great opportunity to access the power of play, which can help you become more creative. I love it. My mind's running with all these in a very childish and innocent way. Not, oh, I gotta make this content, I gotta do this, oh my God, and feeling like a meltdown, but an empower, like, I wanna go play, like, yeah, meet me on the court, like, I'm ready, that kind of. And we need that because that's the intertwining of what really sparks, what really gives life to real content. If you haven't made time recently to let go of your worries and just have fun, now is your chance to connect to that part of yourself. Again, it is so beautiful. It's so beautiful how life works. And when you seek this, I've been asking Source, I've been asking God to change my situation, and through my awareness, through my character development, through not asking, can the load be lighter, but may I carry more? May I build the type of character that can withstand that? Because asking for a lighter load, it downgrades me. It's gonna downshift me. I rather be able to carry more and, become a different person through that transformation. And that's what's so beautiful, and it's been happening. I've been bringing this up. I feel like we got maybe like a minute or two before my camera cuts, so I'm gonna try to keep it short. But Les Brown, I can't remember who he said it, says it, or it's in the scripture, I believe. We will be renewed through the renewal and reborn through the renewal of our mind. That is how we transform. You have to think that you can be better. You have to know that you are better. You can do better, and not better than anybody else. This is not some kind of, it's me versus you. No, it has nothing else. You need to get that blindness so we can see it's me, so that I can elevate myself from the last upgrade I had to become better. Talk to somebody else about that upgrade. If they want to take it, good, but teach. We have to learn to teach through that transformation. That's the only way that we can really get through, and that's the only thing that actually makes sense. Why did I start doing Waking Wellness? I've been wanting to do it because I've been going through this spiritual transformation. I should have done it when I started about 9 to 10 years ago. But now I'm here. I was effed up. I was fucked up. I had to teach how to get through some of those. I was a very, very anxious person. It wasn't even actually till very recently that I got all the anxiety out of my body. It took me time because I removed it from my mind, but that energy, and this is why I've been talking about letting things go, learning how to let things flow, getting things out of our body, and we can learn that through Reiki. That's why we have to learn to let things flow and let them go, or they get stuck in our body. Just like a memory, that thing you have not been wanting to remember, or the best memory ever is just right in there whenever, whether you want to play it or not, it's still playing. That's how that pain is. If you've been in a car accident and somebody's ever even stopped too quick, or somebody may even get a little bit too close, you will feel your body without you thinking about it. Actually, it won't happen until you check in and become aware. Your body is clenching up and almost replaying it because you are now time jumping. You are now real time jumping, since this clock time doesn't exist. You are going into the moment with consciousness, or excuse me, via consciousness. So you just hopped on the train, that train is consciousness, took you to the moment and said, well, this is what happened last time. Let me at least get ready for it. And that is, we have to learn how to flow, let go, release, forgive, because without it, we'll always be caught on what is a time loop. So it's important that we learn how to release. Releasing energy is learning how to stay outside of tense or outside of the ego, this illusionary reality, by making sure we tap in with source. That will help us actually stay in the real timeline, which is the power, or now. And it's the power of now, like Eckhart Tolle talks about. During this time, you may ask yourself, is there a part of me that thinks being playful is childish? And when was the last time I connected to the more youthful parts of myself? Such a beautiful way to end the Your Creativity is Art pattern, because it ties in everything that I mentioned before, just with intuition, actually playing with the universe to see how we are connected with it and how it responds, to really almost just test ourselves and just see how these things work. And it's just beautiful when we can incorporate them into our creativity and doing things like making this video, thinking about even integrating both of them with the Waking Wellness, because this is exactly what it is that I do. I love the aspect that I get to be a little more personal and give you some of my cycles. And so obviously it's going to be more real and more, this isn't something I have to study for. I did do the studying by doing the work on myself and doing all of the spiritual aspects that it talks about, and doing the integration, not just reading, but going through the shadow work, doing the practices, learning, being initiated into Reiki and the higher levels to mastery, doing all of these things that, or these rituals that have completed me as a being and continues to teach me how to complete myself, is the work. And learning how to incorporate that childish aspect is just integral to making sure that we are doing this with the vibrancy and the happiness and the joy that Source wants us to. That is what's going to make us just so happy to keep doing it. And so that's the same feeling that I have now here. I'm not anxious, I'm not none of that. I'm just happy that I am becoming more comfortable and sharing myself with you guys, and I hope that you do the same. So thank you all for tuning in. This is one of my most favorite episodes. This is Your Creativity is Art, the Pattern app. I'm going to put a link in there too so you guys can see, and have a beautiful day. Health as well.